There is no sentencing date yet for R. Kelly after a federal jury convicted him of child pornography and exploitation. Kelly found guilty yesterday on 6 of the 13 counts against him. The jury believed the testimony of a woman who said Kelly subjected her to years of sexual abuse starting when she was just 14. News of the verdict may be having a particular impact on survivors of sexual trauma. So joining us now is Dr. Sheila Raja, a clinical psychologist and the author of The Resilient Teen. Sheila, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
First question is the resilient teen. Are teens really resilient? I've had a couple of them myself, and they seem to be very vulnerable at this age.
They are very vulnerable at this age, which is why I think they count on us as adults, right, to demonstrate the ability to be able to cope and, get back up again when, we've all had so many setbacks recently. And so I think they are looking to us as to how we cope with all of this anxiety going on right now.
So this R. Kelly trial off and on has been going on for decades. The accusations, the victim speaking up, not speaking up, the documentary. What about a teen who's going through this? What is the result of yesterday's conviction? How are they feeling today? Do they feel now they can talk more or they close up more?
I think they're probably feeling a mixed bag. I think a lot of survivors of sexual trauma right now are feeling relieved. On the one hand, there's some amount of vindication that's gone on, but there's also anxiety. Whenever we have a high-profile trial like this, and then we're scrolling through social media and maybe we're seeing some, voices on there that might not be that supportive. I mean, I think that can hurt, especially, that can be for our vulnerable young people. They take a lot of that in. And so I think we have to be careful.
Yeah, that darn social media, oh boy. So what do we do as a parent, as a friend of someone who has been victimized or someone who doesn't want to talk about being victimized?
Yes, I think we can't let fear of saying the wrong thing stop us from saying anything at all. I mean, these women that came out and talked about this stuff are nothing short of courageous, right? And predators count on two things, and that's shame and secrecy. And so let's not give it to them. I mean, we have to, as parents, find age-appropriate ways to talk to our kids and say, hey, a loving, intimate relationship is respectful. It's mutual. This is not the way an adult should be showing, you love. If something feels wrong, come to me, talk to me. We'll figure it out. We have to destigmatize the issues because otherwise, we're not talking about them. And when we're not talking about them, this is when, stuff like this just keeps on going.
People are so reluctant to reach out for help, therapy, things like that. There are stigmas against it, especially in the African-American community. How can someone talk them into saying it's okay to reach out for help?
Well, and this is where I think, again, it's so good that we are having these conversations. The Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network is somewhere where people can reach out for help. And we need to change the discussion in our country, right? That reaching out for help is a sign of strength. It's not a sign of weakness. And, just because you look a certain way or you look grown up, it does not mean that those 14 and 15-year-old girls were grown-ups. They weren't. They were children, and they deserved to be taken care of. I mean, and I think we have a lot of victim blaming that we all have to work on just, continually challenging as adults in order to make our kids feel safe.
And in this case of the 14-year-old, back then, she was victimized somewhat by her parents, as we found out later. It wasn't until she got older that she spoke out. So what if the parents, the person who is supposed to be your safe haven, is not helping you? Is there a safe place to go?
Well, and this is where I think every single one of us needs to try to be the adult that stands up for underage kids, right? What was so disturbing in this case is that I think when, you have adults that say, well, I didn't really know if that kid was underage. Well, legally, that may be one thing, and I'm not a lawyer, but I will say as a psychologist, if something doesn't feel right to you as an adult, make it your business to find out more. If you're that kid's teacher or their coach or just their neighbor or the parent's friend, they need us. They count on us.
Trust your gut. Sheila Raja, thank you so much. Author of The Resilient Teen. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.